Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. My name is John Green. Liverpool Football Club has come to the county ground to get their butts whooped. In a stirring turn of events, it is raining in England. We are recovered from our devastating draw at Manchester City, and we're ready to go. We're fired up. Look at the boys, clapping for the supporters, saying thank you. All right, here we go. Our referee is Hayden Pennyfeather. He's very English. And he's about to not shake hands. There they go, not touching hands. And we are going to win this game, come hell or high water. I really want to win this one. Oh, boy. Unless Steven Gerrard scores. I want to win and have Steven Gerrard score. That's the best possible outcome. So today I'm going to talk about some books I've been reading, and books I recommend that I've read in the last couple few weeks. First, I'm going to recommend a hard SF novel. For those of you who don't know much about science fiction, hard SF is like science fiction that attempts to be very accurate to science insofar as possible. What a great pass there. What a great pass. Here comes your husband. Here he comes. No! Oh. And I really like hard SF because it's like a way of reading about science and reading fiction at the same time. It's really fun. But I very rarely read hard SF that is as good as this book was. It's by a writer called John Barnes, who I first found out about. He mostly has written science fiction, but I first found out about him through a realistic novel that was a Prince Award finalist called Tales of the Madman Underground, and it was really good. It's got to be, and it isn't. What? He was offside? Yeah, he was. All right, fair enough, linesman. It was a really, really enjoyable read, Tales of the Madman Underground, but set in the 70s and all like big and crazy. And this book had all of the like heart that you look for in a great story. Like I definitely laughed and cried while reading it, but it also just had, phenomenally accurate, thoughtful science, which just made it so fun to read just from a pure. It's gotta be what? Put your head on the ball and get it in the net. You had the whole net to work with, other John Green. You're better than that. It was just like the science was so interesting about the actual mechanics of space travel, and all the ways that like a lot of the science fiction you read is just like frankly silliness. That was so fun. Just really enjoyable all the way through. I really recommend it. Losers in Space. It's not, the title makes you think that it is not this like super intellectually engaging read, when in fact it is. So I read that, and then I read Gillian Flynn. Is that how you say her name? Gillian? I don't know. Gone Girl, which is a very popular book of the moment sort of book. It's a thriller. It's very dark. Very suspenseful, full of sort of unreliable narration, or it's more complicated even than unreliable narration. I would say like at times reliable narration. So he'd be like, "That was the 9th time I lied to the police," and you'd be like, "Wait, what were the first 8? How come I was not informed about these 8 lies?" But anyway, it was really fascinating thriller. Very high energy. I've been trying to. I really love crime novels, but I've been trying to read more like proper thrillers along the lines of Gone Girl, to try to understand like their pacing and stuff for the work that I'm doing now, and just generally because I'm not a very good plot writer. In case you haven't noticed. Oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah! That was amazing. That's got to be one of the greatest saves in the history of the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers. Straight up dribbled across the frickin' goal line. Oh man, we should really be. And then I did the Kool-Aid guy to celebrate. Maybe that's going to be my new thing. All right, get it to it, El Campuccino. Thank you. All right, 37th minute, a 0-0 draw, but you can't say that it's been without its exciting moments. So I liked Gone Girl. I liked it with some reservations, but I did enjoy it. Then I read he's crowned. Go! No, it was wide. It's a good shot though. Then I read another crime novel, Michael Connelly's The Drop, the most recent Michael Connelly novel. I'm a huge Michael Connelly fan. His character Harry Bosch his detective character is one of my favorite characters in contemporary crime fiction. Oh, Ball John Green was trying to open up just a little bit of space to get a shot off, and it didn't happen, as it so often doesn't in life. That's got to be a corner kick, and it is. We love corner kicks. Bring it up. Bring Basanta Claus into town, please. He's got some room. Oh, I thought he had a little bit of space, and that's all it takes for Ball John Green. Ball John Green doesn't need a ton of space. It's got to be. Ball John Green, what is wrong with you? We're just hurdling crosses into the box. All right. So, I really liked the drop, and it was one of my favorite Harry Bosch novels. What I love about Michael Connelly is that he has this ability to write in a completely unostentatious way that never calls attention to the writing, but that captures a lot of moral and ethical ambiguity. Look at that. Oh yeah, that is really difficult to do as a novelist. I can't do it, but I really admire people who do it well. Who write without, just all of the pretension drained away, and just trying to tell kind of the best, truest story. I think Connelly is kind of one of the contemporary masters of that. That was scary. And also, he's always been very nice to me in a completely unrelated story. Like, I met him first in 2006 when I wasn't very successful or anything, and it was at the LA Times Book Prizes, and I just lost the LA Times Book Prize for An Abundance of Catherines, and there was no one at my signing. I had two people standing in line, and so I talked to the first person for 5 minutes, and then the second person was Michael freaking Connelly, and the first thing he said to me was, "Kid, you got to learn how to manage a line." And it's just so I don't know. It was really, really nice of him to do that, and to go well out of his way for an unknown writer to encourage me to buy my book, which was very nice of him. So I never forgot that. It was really, but also, so I told him when I met him that my mom, this is true, is a massive Michael Connelly fan, massive Michael Connelly, buys all of his books the first week they come out, and he was he was very nice about it. He'd clearly heard it before, but he was really, really cool. And I just heard, I don't know if this is true, but this is the word on the street. Oh, other John Green, you've got to use your foot to finish. I think I had a little time to settle there. I needed to be a little more calm. The Swoodly Poopers' troubles are always lack of calm. We don't calm down in front of goal in the way we need to. Anyway, I have heard that in the new Harry Bosch novel that comes out in November, I don't have any independent confirmation of this, but I've heard from multiple early readers of the book that Harry Bosch's daughter is reading The Fault in Our Stars in the book, which is the craziest. Go! Obviously, I wanted you to pass to your husband in that situation. He was wide open. It's got to be. And it is, finally! Oh, ball, John Green to other John Green. John Green's ball, another John Green's. They're the best forwards that Swindon Town has ever seen. Yes! Oh, look at Twice as Vice just getting on other John Green's back and saying, "Carry me home, fella." Yes! Oh, that's a beautiful thing to see. We've had a lot of great crosses in this game, but we didn't have a good finish until then. And that was right on the heels of what should have been a breakaway for ball John Green, but his husband just couldn't get his feet under the ball. Anyway, I really like that book. I've also been reading, I'm almost finished now. Look at those gloves. I'm almost finished now with D.T. Max's biography of David Foster Wallace, which I think is a really good book, even though it didn't get particularly good reviews. And I seem to be in the minority in liking it, but I really like it. I think it's quite interesting. I will say, as you guys probably know, I'm a little bit suspicious of the whole, let's learn about the life of a writer from reading his books and making all kinds of assumptions that character A is character A in a novel is character B in real life, and that, oh no, El Campuccino! And that, you can draw these strictly autobiographical connections between a writer and her work. But there is quite a bit of that in this biography. which I do find at times a bit distracting. I get the feeling that a lot of it comes from sort of a lack of source material about certain points in Wallace's life. But all of that aside, like, I think when I finish reading this book for an entire day, my Tumblr is going to be nothing but my highlights, the quotes I've highlighted, because there's been so much that's interesting about the relationship between reader and writer and what Wallace saw as the role of fiction, and in many ways, really did establish a new kind of relationship between writer and reader, and did, claim out some territory, or stake out some territory that hadn't really existed before, or at least in a way that had been expressed. He took fiction back from the ironists, and in ways that were really important. And as someone who tries very hard to write in a way that's mindful of irony, but kind of, I guess opposed to irony, I think, like, all of the writers who are like me owe him a great debt of gratitude. So it's been really interesting for that reason. So I think I'll tumble a lot of quotes when I finish the book, but also just because he had a very, very difficult life, and a lot of times when you read biographies of writers, or at least when I read biographies of writers, I think to myself, like, that guy really had it all figured out, and I wish I could be like him. I wish I had his or her life. That is not my experience at all reading this book. You don't wish for 1 second to be David Foster Wallace. There's no part of being David Foster Wallace that seems easy or fun. There's a excitement and playfulness about his life, but you are never far away from how difficult it is, and that's very important and hard to do well, I think. So I admire that about the book as well. I found quite a lot to like in it. Yeah, so that's my other recommendation. I think we might be pretty close to winning this game if we can just keep Liverpool from scoring in the 90th minute. We do give up a lot of 90th minute goals, though. We did it! We did it! We emerged victorious, and our opponents smell their pits in shame. Thank you for watching. Let me know in comments what you've been reading. I'm interested to know. Look at beautiful bald John Green's mustache. Let me know in comments what you've been reading, and thank you for watching the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers. Best wishes.